Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan. Welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Training camp is 2 weeks away. The training camp passes went live today if you were able to get one. I know it was extremely tough to get one, but the training camp practices are free if you're in the Baltimore area, and training camp starts July 26th, so it's coming quick. But as training camp approaches, I've been thinking and wondering if J.K. Dobbins might hold out. I don't think it's a big deal whether he holds out of training camp or not. I still think he's going to play in the regular season. I just don't see him having enough leverage, to be honest, to sit out the regular season and it benefit him, but we shall see. It seems like a lot of running backs are headed that way. They're trying to fight the league who is trying to pay them less. I mean, it is what it is. You see Josh Jacobs holding out, Saquon Barkley holding out, and both of those guys, as of recent reports, are potentially holding out for the regular season as well. I don't know if JK has performed enough and been on the field enough to be in that category. Even though Saquon's missed a ton of time, he's at least put in 2 stellar seasons, including last year. And we haven't had a full dominant J.K. Dobbins season. I mean, his rookie year, he was incredible, but he didn't get a lot of playing time. Mark Ingram was still here. So J.K. hasn't had a chance to be the lead back and be healthy all season. When he had his chance to be the lead back, he's been hurt. And we saw some dominance from him at the end of last year. We've seen many flashes. We know that JK's extremely gifted. He's extremely explosive, elusive, sneaky, powerful. You know, we got Gus Edwards as our power back, but JK can go in there and bang too, trust me, and can be a goal line back as well as Gus. So we need J.K. Dobbins. There's no doubt about it. And J.K. Dobbins has the skill set to be in the Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley category. He just needs to stay on the field. We know that he's in a contract year and he sat out of minicamp or held in, whatever they do now because you get fined too much. So I'm wondering if he's going to do the same thing for training camp. I think he might. Running backs have some of the easiest responsibilities to learn in a new offense. I'm not saying their job is easy by any means. I'm saying usually from college to the NFL, running backs adapt the fastest. You see star college running backs come in and have immediate success in the NFL. That doesn't happen for quarterbacks, for wide receivers, for many other positions. And the only reason I bring that up is because the Ravens have an entirely new offense. Todd Monken is installing a new scheme that all these players have to learn. They have to learn a new playbook. They have to learn their assignments. They have to learn the verbiage, basically learn an entire new language. And they've done this before, so I'm not worried about anybody picking that up. I don't think he has to participate fully in training camp to pick up this new offense and then have an impact this year for this team. I think that he can do that regardless, unless he holds out of the regular season. But like I said, I just don't know how he has enough leverage for that to benefit him. If he was healthy his whole career and just absolutely wrecking the league year in and year out, then absolutely hold out. Be like, I deserve an extension. I've proven myself time and time again, kind of like Lamar in a way, right? But he hasn't been on the field. He hasn't produced for a full season outside of his rookie year, but he wasn't our lead back. So we haven't seen him in that role, and I have all the confidence in the world that he's going to succeed in that role. I just don't think he has leverage to sit out in the regular season. I don't know how that benefits him. It's just like another year of J.K. Dobbins not playing football. Everyone's still going to have those injury concerns even next year when he hits free agency. So I think he has to play this year. He has to prove that he can stay on the field, stay healthy, and produce consistently, which I think he will. But I could see him holding in training camp again just to stay healthy and try to force the team to give him an extension. I mean, that's all he wants to do. He's not being paid much compared to other top players in the league. He was a second-round pick, so he's making a little over $1 million. Compare that to a lot of guys in the league. It's not a ton of money. It's a ton of money to us, but it's not a ton of money in the league, and especially J.K. probably views himself as a top elite running back in this league, and I would too if I was him. He knows what he's capable of. I know he can be that. So he's viewing himself as that and being like, I need to make more than this. And with all my injury problems going into a contract year, I need to basically hold out of practice just to ensure that I'm not hurt and I can be as productive and dominant as possible in the regular season. So I could definitely see him doing that. It seems like that's the trend across the league, that they want to hold in, whatever you want to call it now. They're not participating in practice. They just show up at the facility and do whatever off to the side, but they're not participating with the team. It seems like every top running back in the league is trying to fight as much as possible to raise the running back contracts, but I just can't see it. I don't think the value of a running back is the same as it used to be. The game's becoming a little bit softer and therefore opens it up to score more. It's harder to play defense at a high level and shut down a passing game because you can't be as physical as you used to be with the quarterbacks, with the wide receivers, helmet to helmets. I mean, those things used to be normal. You know, look back at like 2000s Ravens defense. They were taking quarterbacks out of the games every couple weeks, and that was probably their intention. It was a violent game, and it's still a very physical game, but it's not what it used to be. And then the introduction of fantasy football and sports betting, people want to see points scored. People love stats. People want to see records being broken. People want to see shootouts back and forth. I don't see a way you're going to be able to completely stop these high-powered passing games, and therefore it just devalues the running game. You definitely need a balance. You definitely need a running back. You definitely need a running game. But just relying on that running back or that running game just doesn't work anymore. And on top of that, running backs just don't have long careers. Very few running backs have long careers. Very few running backs play well into their 30s. It is one of the most physical positions. Every time the running back gets the ball, they're being hit every single play. And they just can't stay healthy over a long time. I think the league got turned off by a bunch of bad contracts that didn't work out. Todd Gurley's contract really backfired on the Rams. Zeke's contract was okay, but his production every year was going down. Le'Veon Bell was fighting for a big contract and then just basically disappeared once he got his deal. Every time a top running back is up for their big deal after their 4th, 5th year of playing on their rookie contract, it doesn't seem like those next set of years is ever really worth it. It's not worth a top dollar. There's a few guys that it's been worth it for. You know, Nick Chubb and Christian McCaffrey are still performing really well, and they make good money. But I'm just saying overall, as a team, when you're thinking about financial obligations and where are we putting our money, a lot of cap room is not going towards a running back. I don't think ever again by many teams. It's going to be hard for them to fight for what they want. Now, should the Ravens extend J.K.? I would like that, but at the right price, you know, and that's probably where they're at with it too. I don't know what JK's asking for. It seems like Barkley and Jacobs want north of $10 million because that's around where the franchise tag would sit. So they might be looking for $12 to $14 million per year. JK's probably a few million under that. I just don't know if the Ravens are going to pony up $8, $9, $10 million for JK right now. I think that if he has a really good year, they would extend him, or even if he starts to have a good year, maybe they extend him during the season. Seems like that's when the Ravens get most of their extensions done, is mid-season. And I could definitely see him kind of holding out a training camp. I think he'll be there just so he doesn't get fined. I don't think that's a big deal. I just think that's his last gasp of effort to try and get a deal, try and get an extension so that he's not so vulnerable going into a contract year with this lengthy injury history. I would like to see JK stick around. I know what type of talent JK has. I mean, you could just turn on the film and see his explosiveness. We all were screaming at the TV or at the games last year for JK to get the ball at the end of the season. And Greg Roman wasn't giving him the ball enough for whatever reason. And I love Gus Edwards. I like Justice Hill. We might see something from Keaton. But JK's the guy. JK has the most potential. Gus Edwards is getting older. He's 28. JK's our guy. He's our best running back by far. And I would love to just see a season where he's getting 15 to 20 touches a game. He's involved in the pass game a little bit. If JK can stay healthy this year, I almost guarantee he has an incredible year. I hope he sticks around. I don't want to lose him. Either way, the Ravens do have to find their future back. It might be J.K. Dobbins, so hopefully they can extend him at a reasonable value that he's also happy with and the team's happy with, and we can get him for another 3 years or so. If not, we're going to have to go draft another running back because we don't have a future running back. So if J.K. walks this year, Gus Edwards is 28 years old. He's only declining. He's an appreciating asset, unfortunately. So I love Gus, but he can't be our back moving forward, not our lead back. So you got to make another move if JK's not the guy. I'd like to think JK is the guy. I think they want him. I just think that they don't need to extend him right now. He doesn't have a lot of leverage to fight for an extension. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if he gets extended. We'll see if he shows up at training camp. Either way, I think JK has an incredible season this year, and I'm just praying he stays healthy and he gets to show the league what he really has and what he really can do, because if you've been watching Ravens football, you know J.K. Dobbins is a dominant football player, but we shall see. I appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't